Welcome to the Terrible Take, a daily segment telling Steelers Nation what's on our mind. I'm Bryan. The Pittsburgh Steelers have been quite busy this past week, and especially when it comes to them signing free agents. In total, the Steelers have added 5 outside free agents at the time of this terrible take, with former Jacksonville Jaguars inside linebacker Myles Jack being the latest one. So, with several holes filled at this point, and a few more re-signings likely still on the way, what will all of this mean for the Steelers when it comes to this year's draft, and especially the first round or two? Well, quite honestly, Steelers general manager Kevin Colbert seems to have left himself wide open when it comes to the draft, and that's not a bit unusual when it comes to him. Sure, the Steelers aren't likely to take an offensive lineman or inside linebacker early in this year's draft, but it's not totally out of the question right now, and especially if there's a young tackle they love. Could the Steelers be interested in a cornerback in the first round or rounds? It's certainly possible right now, and even on the heels of Levi Wallace and Ahkello Witherspoon recently both agreeing to 2-year deals. What about an edge rusher? That's possible as well, and especially as we sit here today. After all, the Steelers really only have T.J. Watt and Alex Highsmith to work with right now at that position group. They need depth at that position for sure. We'll see what happens at safety in the next few weeks as well. The strong safety spot could be a real area of need come the draft, and even if Terrell Edmunds is re-signed on the cheap. What about a new defensive tackle such as Georgia's Jordan Davis? Imagine him in the middle of the Steelers' defense for years to come. While many might disagree, I think quarterback still might be in play in the first round for the Steelers as well. If they like Malik Willis as much as we think they might, maybe they would trade up in the first round to get him. Hey, let's not forget about wide receivers being an early round option as well, and even if Juju Smith-Schuster is ultimately re-signed. The Steelers did not draft a wide receiver last year, so count on them selecting at least one this year and maybe even 2. As you can see, there are still a lot of different directions that the Steelers could go in the early rounds of this year's draft, and that's just the way Kevin Colbert likes it. They can focus on drafting a player they really like with immediate need in mind. We will obviously revisit this topic several times in the coming weeks. For now, however, the Steelers seem to be on a familiar offseason path in 2022, with this year's difference being more outsiders being added earlier than normal in the free agency process. It's wide open. Be sure to follow us at SteelersDepot.com and check out episodes of The Terrible Take every day at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. And check out The Terrible Podcast with myself and Alex Kozora every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.